It was supposed to be just another routine afternoon at Asia Hospital in Patna. But what happened on March 22nd, 2025, would turn a symbol of healing into a scene of horror. It started with a whisper of worry and ended in a scream that would shake the very foundations of trust, loyalty, and love. At 2:30 p.m., a training session began for 14 trainee staff members. 2 doctors from Medanta Hospital had come in, 1 male, 1 female, to conduct the session. Everything seemed fine. The environment was clinical, educational, safe. But something dark was already unfolding just a few feet away. While the session progressed, laughter and chatter followed once the trainers left. A warning was whispered. Keep it down. Madam Surabhi's chamber is nearby. A trainee, curious, tiptoed toward her office to check. The door wasn't fully closed. Slightly ajar, a push, a peek, then silence, and blood. Red, thick, pooled on the floor, his breath caught. He stepped further in, and behind the desk, she lay motionless, Dr. Surabhi Raj, the hospital's vice director, lifeless, or maybe barely alive. A shriek escaped the trainee's throat, shattering the post-training banter like glass. Staff rushed in. Chaos erupted. Some screamed, others froze. Surabhi was rushed to the emergency ward on the same floor. Doctors scrambled, multiple wounds. Too deep, too clean, too intentional. It wasn't an accident. It was an execution. X-rays confirmed the worst. 3 bullets had torn through her body. Time was against them. She was referred to AIMS Patna, but the clock had already betrayed her. By the time she arrived, Surabhi Raj was declared dead. Her husband Rakesh arrived at the hospital minutes later, shocked, pale, breathless. But something about his timing didn't sit right. Meanwhile, miles away, a hospital cleaning staff member named Titari Devi had gone home for lunch. She had barely sat down when the hospital called. Ma'am had vomited, they said. Come clean the chamber. Dutifully, she returned with her mop and bucket. Unknowingly wiping away a crime scene, she found a brass object, a bullet casing, but not knowing its value, she washed it and placed it on the table. No one told her to stop. No one warned her. Evidence was being erased, not by chance, but by design. By 4:30 p.m., the Agam Kwan police station received the report. The vice director of Asia Hospital had suffered a serious accident. Officers arrived. Too late. The room had been cleaned, the walls wiped, the floor sterilized. A murder, scrubbed clean. The police were furious. Forensic evidence gone. Clues lost. What was left behind was a mystery and a lie. Senior officials arrived, the SP, the DSP, the forensics team, even a dog squad. But in a place where healing was promised, a calculated betrayal had occurred, under the watch of trusted professionals. Surabhi's father revealed that he had received a call at 3:30 p.m. from his son-in-law, Rakesh. Surabhi suddenly fainted. "She's in the ICU," he said. The old man rushed, but in his panic he tripped and injured his hand. No one told him that his daughter had been shot until much later. Why hide the truth? Why delay the facts? What were they protecting or hiding? When the post-mortem was conducted that night, the truth screamed from every report page. Not 1, not 3, but 6 bullets had entered Surabhi's body. Bruises told stories of a struggle. Gunshots told stories of rage. The chamber walls bore bullet marks. Her desk held open files, a purse, and something strange, a gray cap. No one recognized it. Not hers, not any staff's. But the most shocking discovery? Bottles of liquor hidden in the chamber. Surabhi didn't drink, never did. Why were they there? The questions were only beginning, and somewhere someone was counting on them never being answered. But they didn't count on what came next. A gray cap, a puddle of blood, and a murder that happened in the one place no one expected: a hospital. The entire city of Patna was shaken, but the deeper investigators dug, the more it seemed this wasn't just a random act of violence. This was surgical. This was staged. This was personal. The mystery took a sharp turn when police retrieved footage from a nearby building's CCTV. It was grainy, but clear enough to capture the outline of a man, wearing a gray cap, slipping into the hospital from the rear entrance at 1:20 p.m. And then, at 2:55 p.m., the same man walked out, without the cap. The cap was found in Surabhi's chamber. Another camera angle outside the hospital revealed two more figures. One stood guard on a bike. The other entered the hospital but never appeared on internal footage. Why? Because the hospital's CCTV cameras hadn't worked in 20 days. The only working camera was at the main gate. A malfunction, they said. A coincidence? The police didn't think so. It felt orchestrated, like a script written to erase the killer's shadow before he even arrived. And then came a name: Rakesh Roshan, Surabhi's husband. To outsiders, Rakesh was a self-made man. From being a hospital janitor to becoming a co-owner of Asia Hospital, his rise was nothing short of dramatic. No medical degree, no formal business training. But what he lacked in education, he made up for in ambition. Ruthless, sharp, charming, he knew how to pull the right strings and how to cut them when needed. In 2018, he married Surabhi. It was a love marriage, and for years they seemed like the perfect couple running a successful hospital business. But behind the professional smiles and photo-perfect family dinners, something darker was brewing. Surabhi was known for her discipline, her honesty, and her no-nonsense attitude. She kept the books clean. She followed protocols. And that's exactly what started driving a wedge between them. Especially after Alka Singh entered the picture. Alka was once a nurse. Then, almost overnight, she became the OT head. Then the HR head. All within months. Rakesh often spoke to her for hours, even late at night. Staff whispered. Surabhi noticed. She confronted Rakesh. He dismissed it. But the truth gnawed at her, and her instincts were sharper than most. She began watching. She began digging, and what she uncovered would cost her life. A financial trail, one that led to nearly 1 crore rupees siphoned off and routed to Siliguri, where Alka's brother worked at a private hospital. Surabhi had the files. She had the statements. She had the motive to act, and Rakesh had the motive to silence her. Investigators dove into Rakesh's call logs, endless hours of conversation with Alka, daily contact, and then something even more damning, Rakesh's call to Surabhi's father. He claimed she fainted, that she was in the ICU, but the shooting had already occurred. Why lie? Why manipulate the timeline? Then came the real twist. The training session on the second floor, the one that distracted staff, was organized last minute by one man. Masood Alam, Asia Hospital's HR head. He claimed it was scheduled for staff development. But there were no prior emails, no paperwork, no notice. He created a perfect diversion. And during that exact hour, Surabhi was shot. A woman who was feared for her integrity, loved for her sincerity, and hated for her refusal to bow down. The police began rounding up suspects. Their eyes were now on 5 people. Rakesh Roshan, his alleged girlfriend Alka Singh, his younger brother Atul Kumar, the manipulative Masood Alam, and Anil Kumar, the hospital's floor supervisor. Together they formed a circle of silence. But circles, when cracked, fall apart completely. 3 days after the murder, the net finally closed in. All 5 were arrested. The charges? Criminal conspiracy, destruction of evidence, financial fraud, and first-degree murder. The pieces were coming together. But the motive, the real motive, went even deeper than jealousy or greed. Back at the hospital, investigators found a damaged DVR. It once held CCTV footage from the chamber hall. Now it was blank, deleted, intentionally, and the hard drive showed recent tampering just days before the attack, as if someone knew exactly what day the murder would occur. The post-mortem revealed something even more horrifying. Not just bullets, but bruises, defensive wounds. Surabhi had fought back. She had tried to survive. And the 6th bullet? It went through her back. She never saw it coming. Why so much rage? Perhaps because she dared to question a man who thought he was untouchable. Or maybe, just maybe, because she didn't stay silent when silence was safer. Her death wasn't about one secret. It was about too many truths being revealed too quickly. A woman who stood between a web of deceit and total exposure. And now she was gone. How many bullets does it take to silence the truth? For Dr. Surabhi Raj, it was 6. 6 bullets fired behind a locked chamber door in a hospital built on her dreams. Her killers thought the case was buried along with her. But justice, like the truth, has a way of clawing its way back to the surface, especially when the foundation is built on lies, greed, and betrayal. Police believed they had their culprits: Rakesh Roshan, the ambitious husband turned mastermind; Alka Singh, the other woman hiding behind a nurse's badge; Atul Kumar, Rakesh's younger brother, ever loyal to the family name; Anil Kumar, the man who managed the hallways but turned a blind eye; and Masood Alam, the HR head who orchestrated a fake training session to clear the 2nd floor. But even as they sat behind bars, something still didn't add up. The CCTV cameras had been disabled 20 days before the murder. Not all of them, but only the ones facing the inner halls and the stairway to Surabhi's chamber. Too precise to be coincidence. The replacement cameras were installed, wires connected, but they were never turned on. Why? Because someone had calculated this crime with surgical precision. The police recovered Alka's laptop, Masood's deleted messages, Rakesh's call recordings, and even the liquor bottles placed in Surabhi's office. But it wasn't just about deleting evidence. It was about planting false narratives. The bottles were meant to stain her reputation, to suggest a secret life, a hidden flaw, a reason to doubt the victim. But everyone who knew Surabhi said the same thing. She hated alcohol. She didn't even let us bring mouthwash with alcohol content into the ward. That left one possibility. They weren't just covering up a murder. They were trying to assassinate her character too. A week after the arrests, digital forensic experts finally broke through the formatted DVRs. What they found was fragments, partial footage of the hallway, a shadow crossing her chamber door, a gloved hand closing the latch. No face, no voice. But one crucial clue, a hospital access card swipe at exactly 1:47 p.m., opening the staff-only stairway. That card belonged to none other than Anil Kumar. He swore he never left the training room. But data doesn't lie. Investigators also discovered something shocking in Alka's financial records. She had received a large deposit, 13 lakh rupees, 2 weeks before the murder. Not in her name, but in the name of her brother's hospital in Siliguri. The sender, a shell company created by Rakesh, recently dissolved, with no business activity. Surabhi had found it. That's what she was reading on the day she was killed. But what pushed Rakesh to go this far? Surabhi wasn't threatening his life. She was threatening his empire. An empire built on fake bills, siphoned medicines, ghost employees, and unlicensed equipment. If she spoke out, not only would his hospital collapse, but his reputation, wealth, and the very illusion of success he had worked years to build would shatter in an instant. He didn't kill her out of hate. He killed her out of fear. Fear that the woman he once loved had now become the only person capable of destroying everything he'd become. In court, Rakesh showed no remorse. He blamed stress, competition, even claimed he was being framed. Alka wept, but her chats betrayed her. Masood tried to spin the training session as coincidence, but the timestamps sealed his fate. Each of them played a role. Some planned, some executed. All were guilty. The judge called it a case of premeditated brutality masked as professionalism. The verdict: life imprisonment for all five. And Surabhi? She left behind 2 children, now living with their maternal grandparents. Innocent hearts forced to grow up with a memory carved in pain. They don't understand boardrooms or betrayal. They only know their mother went to work one day and never came home. Asia Hospital continues to operate under new leadership. The chamber where Surabhi was murdered has been sealed permanently. Some say they hear soft thuds at night. Others whisper that her soul won't rest until the last hidden truth is revealed. Because one question still haunts the investigation. Who pulled the trigger? Forensics revealed 6 bullets, but no fingerprints on the weapon. No residue on the hands of the accused. Could there have been someone else? Someone hired? Someone who walked in, killed, and vanished, like a ghost in a gray cap. That cap, that missing gun, that perfectly timed training session. So many threads still dangle. The public believed justice had been served. But in the quiet corridors of that hospital, in the cold data logs, and in the silent grief of her children, echoes remain. Was it really just 5 people? Or was someone else still out there, hiding behind scrubs, behind power, behind silence? And that's where we leave you. For now, do you believe this was the full story? Or is there someone still missing in this chain of betrayal? Let us know in the comments below. Who do you think pulled the final trigger?